Good afternoon on what is a warm, bright and blustery day. It is Thursday, the 27th of June, and I'm in the reading nook with a nice hot cup of tea and something special to unbox. This has come all the way from let's have a look, from San Antonio in Texas, and some of you may recognize that logo from Hot Spring Islands. I've been waiting for this for several years, in fact. So I'm going to open this up and show you what it is. Try and get the knife in there carefully. There we go. There we go. So what I have here is Beyond the Borderlands issue 3. It's by Gnarled Monster, who you'll be able to find on Twitter or X. It has actually changed since the last issue came out. And as the title suggests, this is a fanzine dedicated or is a homage to B2, Keep on the Borderlands, the signature scenario for basic Dungeons and Dragons, which has been in the Dungeons and Dragons basic box set since about 1978, 1979, and it's the adventure that has been played by more people than any other. Purportedly, sort of like, some estimates put at the total number sold somewhere in the region of 1 million. Written by E. Gary Gygax. It describes the kind of archetypal setting in which you have a location on the Borderlands, in this case a fort, and then not very far away, a den of chaos and iniquity and evil, with a whole ravine full of caves infested by orcs, kobolds, gnolls, bugbears, hobgoblins, and so on. Which the sort of like the player characters sort of like go and investigate and clear out, and ultimately to discover the source of the strange corporation of all these species, a temple dedicated to chaos. It's a very kind of it's not particularly sophisticated scenario per se. It's very much predicated on the explore, kill, loot setup for Dungeons and Dragons, and that's fine. That's fun. I'm not criticizing that style of play if you like that. I actually had a fun time playing old school Renaissance in that scenario for during lockdown. So what have we got inside? Essentially, we're going to open up, and this is a really bright, colourful issue. We've got a glossary there covering things like hit dice, armor class, and so on, which most of it, of course, you're going to be familiar with. And then introduction, which kind of states a long time ago in the age of myth, and so on. This sets everything up, basically using introduction. And then we have other locations really that go with sort of like go with the world that's been created in Beyond the Borderlands. So what we have, so we have a shifting maze, very vertical sort of dungeon there, done in cross section. And we've got particular locations within that area. So we've got the fetid tunnels, goes complete with these really fantastic, so kind of almost chibi style, as I've since learnt, artwork, and sort of like it's interesting. Sort of like you have some of the counters determined by the suit of card drawn. What's interesting about that kind of leans, I suppose, towards the solo journaling games, which use suits of cards to determine the prompts. And then we have the crumbling mines with an absolutely fantastic gelatinous cube there, classic Dungeons and Dragons monster. Mushroom Lake, so sort of perfect for that whole thing about Dungeons and Dragons of the mushroom men. I was going to say the merry mushmen, but that's got something different, slightly different. So what you can actually see is these individual locations are described in the following pages. So there's the Lake of Mushrooms, more mushmen. So there we go, Mushroom Lake, and then we have an elven mausoleum. A sibilant city. Oh, that's fantastic. I should really like essentially the whole thing about talking with tongues and with these sibilant S. And it's full of lizard men. Like that. You can see the tongue action there. And there's a beholder type creature as well. And then the Duke's domains. And the Duke's domains essentially is all the way down here at the bottom. The Elven Mausoleum full of undead. And here we have sort of like a boar folk and sort of kind of like demons, I suppose. So we are dealing with a Duke of Hell, I would guess at. We've got Astaroth, Duke of the Mace, so yeah, that's probably a good guess. And then we've got essentially these coins. You've got Wandering Monsters for the Shifting Maze. Essentially, basically a shop there which you can buy from. Sort of like a mimic who's got things for sale, or for sale, I should say. So prices, inventory, rumors to buy, and then various alchemical ingredients which will benefit your player characters if they spend wisely. So a whole big section of goods and garments, and even magical things like a moonlight bow or a prismatic cloak. And then we've got a guide to card crawling here and setup procedures. So here we actually do lean into that idea of using the cards from an ordinary deck of playing cards to facilitate encounters and situations within the dungeon, exploring the shifting mazes, sort of like Beyond the Borderlands. So this really is a corollary to the Borderlands. It's not really part of the corollary. It is something extra. And I suppose, as I say, it really does take the long-time gamer, the fan of Beyond of B2 Keep on the Borderlands, very much beyond the Borderlands, beyond what the Borderlands really is at its core. This is very much extra. It's interesting. But I would say that if you do have copies of the earlier fanzines, you probably want this for completeness. But it's not really going to add anything to the Borderlands per se, because it's extra. Okay, so that's Beyond the Borderlands 3 fanzine, published by Hot Spring Island, or basically Swordfish Islands, I should say, and written and drawn by Gnarled Monster. Well, I hope you enjoyed this unboxing in the Nook. If you did, then please do click on the like button down below. And of course, if you've got any comments or feedback, I do appreciate you taking the time to post those. And lastly, if you want to be alerted to get more unboxings in the Nook, where you'll see me out here with typically a box, or in this case, an envelope containing a book or game, or in this case, a fanzine homage to an absolute classic role-playing scenario from the late 70s written by E. Gary Gygax for basic Dungeons and Dragons, which I will unbox and talk about to the best extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so, all of course accompanied by a nice hot cup of tea. Then please do click on the subscribe button down below. Thanks again for watching another unboxing of the Nook. I will be back again soon with another one. Bye for now.